This meeting is now called to order Monday, September 12th, 2022. Welcome. Councilmember Hablitz, please lead us in the flag salute.
And to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Thank you. Mrs. Kraus, please read the statement of public notice.
Take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with NJSA 10:4-8 and NJSA 10:4-10 as follows. A notice of the meeting was prominently posted on the bulletin board at the municipal building located at 225 Main Street, Little Falls, New Jersey on March 11th, 2022. A copy of the notice was mailed to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on the same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk on said date. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting virtually can be accessed on the Township website at www.lfnj.com. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of the meeting.
Thank you. Mrs. Kraus, at this time, please call the roll.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Present.
Councilmember Kawadi,
Present.
Councilmember Seaver,
Present.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Present.
Council President Scoba.
Present. Mayor Damiano, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. Before I begin with the proclamations this evening, there are a couple of updates and reports that I would like to provide to the governing body here in Little Falls. The first of which is I recently received an update from our grant writers who have advised that over the past almost 5 years, with the conclusion of 2022, this year being the fifth full year, so this number is still subject to grow, we have received $4.7 million, a little bit more than $4.7 million in total grant funds over this period of time. It's an incredible figure that has certainly been put to good use throughout town, with probably the greatest visual impact of it coming in the next couple of months as we begin the construction of our streetscape project down Main Street in Little Falls. And we're hoping that that will certainly bring a whole bunch of the curb appeal back to the downtown in Little Falls and really revitalize the downtown and the vibrance that there could and should be in our downtown here in town. So very excited about that number and very excited to see the start of all of that work over the next handful of months. Next, the water project in town. I know there's been a number of comments lately about the road conditions here in Little Falls, particularly with respect to the water main improvement project that's been being performed by New Jersey American Water. The slotted date or the estimated date that restoration is going to begin has been pushed to September 19th because of the weather. That's next Monday, assuming that they don't have too many other delays or days that they are set back. Fingers crossed. They had a pretty fairly easy summer with respect to the weather cooperating overall. Unfortunately, we have had more rain. I believe there's more rain scheduled for this evening, which I believe is putting their work off tonight, but we're targeting early next week, according to them, to begin the road restoration of Main Street. As I have indicated in the past, it is a couple-step project more than would ordinarily be required because they are required to remove the asphalt in the trenches, to replace that with concrete, and then after they are able to complete all of that, they can then begin the milling and the paving of the roadway. So fingers crossed within the next couple of weeks, the entire length of Main Street where the improvement was made will be restored back to a better than prior to the road work condition. So looking forward to that work completing and concluding and our roadway being restored here in Little Falls. Next, another water issue that we have been having in town has to do with the Great Notch area of town, particularly the most northeastern part of town. The areas between Browertown up through Lower Notch area, up through the Jacobus and Morningside area. And that area of town has been impacted by the low reservoirs and a mineral that has been in the water that is not dangerous, but has been creating brown water. I can assure everyone that I have been on the phone with New Jersey American Water 2 to 3 times a day for the past several weeks, it seems. And they are aware of the issue. They are working to rectify it. The water that part of the township receives is from the local reservoir that has been at a very low level due to the limited amount of rain that we've had over the course of the summer. Because of that, this mineral is particularly high, causing this brown water. It is safe for consumption, although I can understand the reluctance of many to drink it or give it to their kids to drink. It is safe to shower in. The one thing that they suggest not be done when the water is brown is washing your clothing, particularly your whites, because it will stain your clothes the color of the mineral, that brown mineral that is being created in that water. I was on with New Jersey American Water a couple of times today because they are continuing to flush the lines in an effort to draw clean, fresh water into the mains so that you can have clear drinking water soon. Unfortunately, from time to time when they're doing that, because they may have one or two fire hydrants open at a time where the volume of water coming out is pretty incredible, you may notice very low water pressure in your home from time to time, which was a major issue today. We are working with New Jersey American Water to try to get all of this rectified as quickly as possible. But again, it is something that is certainly on mine and this council's radar. We are working to have this addressed with New Jersey American Water. And in fact, I'd reached out today to the governor's office to ask for additional assistance in having this issue rectified, because enough's enough. Little Falls residents deserve clean, clear water that they can drink, shower, bathe, and wash their clothes in. And it's about time that New Jersey American Water and their sources of water take care and address this particular issue. So we are working with them to have that corrected, and we'll continue to do so. That's all that I have for those reports, with the exception of a couple of proclamations this evening, unless the council has any questions. Mayor. All right, the first proclamation that we have this evening is the National Suicide Prevention Month proclamation. And suicide has been a growing issue in the United States, something that we all need to be mindful of our neighbors, of our friends, because seemingly oftentimes on the outward appearance, people are typically happy, and sometimes there are underlying issues which they may just need a friend to talk to. So I urge everyone to be that friend, to listen to their neighbors and friends, and to be that shoulder to cry on if needed. And the National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month proclamation reads, whereas September is known around the United States as National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month and is intended to help promote awareness surrounding each of the suicide prevention resources available to us and our community. And whereas suicidal thoughts can affect anyone regardless of age, gender, race, orientation, income level, religion, or background. And whereas, according to the CDC, each year more than 41,000 people die by suicide. And whereas suicide is the 10th leading cause of death among adults in the U.S. and is the second leading cause of death among people aged 10 to 24. And whereas every member of our community should understand that throughout life's struggles, we all need the occasional reminder that we are all silently fighting our own battles. And whereas I encourage all residents to take the time to inquire as to the well-being of their family, friends, and neighbors, to genuinely convey their appreciation for them, which may go a long way in helping someone realize that suicide is not the answer. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor James Belford Damiano, on behalf of the Little Falls Township Council, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2022 as National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in the Township of Little Falls. The next proclamation this evening is Hispanic Heritage Month proclamation. It reads, whereas Hispanic Heritage Month is an opportunity to celebrate the rich cultural traditions and honor the significant achievements of our Hispanic and Latino American communities. And whereas Hispanics are the largest ethnic minority group in the country and make valuable contributions to the Commonwealth and business, industry, government, education, the sciences, arts, and faith. And whereas Hispanic and Latino Americans have made enormous contributions to our diverse society by sharing their talents, culture, traditions, and their deep connection to family values and commitment to faith and a desire to live the American dream. And whereas we honor Hispanic Americans and their many contributions, which strengthens our society as a whole. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor James Belford Damiano, on behalf of the Township Council, do hereby proclaim September through October 2022 as Hispanic Heritage Month in the Township of Little Falls. The next proclamation this evening is the Library Card Sign-Up Month. And it reads, whereas libraries are an essential resource in communities across New Jersey, offering accessible information to the general public and serving as centers of knowledge and opportunity. And whereas libraries are a fundamental part of our schools, employment, and society, disseminating facts and ensuring history is preserved. And whereas in addition to boasting book-lined shelves, libraries also offer periodicals, audiobooks, and ebooks, making the path to reading more accessible than ever before. And whereas since 1987, Library Card Sign-Up Month has been held each September to mark the beginning of the school year. During the month, the American Library Association and Librarians Unite in a national effort to ensure every child signs up for their own library card. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor James Belford Damiano, on behalf of the Little Falls Council, do hereby proclaim September 2022 as Library Card Sign-Up Month in the Township of Little Falls. And for any of you with youngsters out there, I encourage you to get to the library, if you haven't already, to get yourself and them a library card so that you can have it on hand in the event you ever need any information from the library here in Little Falls, which has an incredible array of all kinds of periodicals, books, and movies, all kinds of things to get your hands on. So if you haven't been there, I encourage you to make your way to the library here in Little Falls. The final proclamation this evening is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month proclamation. And for anyone that's driven past the municipal building the past couple of days, you may have noticed that the Little Falls Municipal Building is lit up in yellow to support childhood cancer awareness, something that is unfortunately affecting too many children, especially nowadays, and something that certainly needs the attention of all of us here in Little Falls and all of us throughout the country. And it reads, whereas childhood cancer is the leading cause of death by disease in children, and 1 in 285 children in the United States will be diagnosed by their 20th birthday. And whereas 46 children per day, or 16,790 children per year, are diagnosed with cancer in the U.S., and there are approximately 40,000 children on active treatment at any given time. And whereas the average age of diagnosis is 6 years old compared to 66 years for adults, cancer diagnoses in 80% of childhood cancer patients are diagnosed late and with metastatic disease. And whereas on average, there has been 0.6% increase in incidences per year since the mid-1970s, resulting in an overall incidence increase of 24% over the last 40 years. And whereas 2/3 of childhood cancer patients will have chronic health conditions as a result of their treatment toxicity, with 1/4 being classified as severe to life-threatening. And whereas approximately 1/2 of childhood cancer families rate the associated financial toxicity due to the out-of-pocket expenses as considerable to severe, and in the last 20 years, only 4 new drugs have been approved by the FDA to specifically treat childhood cancer. And whereas the National Cancer Institute recognizes the unique research needs of childhood cancer and the associated need of increased funding to carry this out, and hundreds of nonprofit organizations at the local and national level, including the American Childhood Cancer Organization, are helping children with cancer and their families cope through educational, emotional, and financial support. And whereas researchers and healthcare professionals work diligently dedicating their expertise to treat and cure children with cancer. And whereas too many children are affected by this deadly disease, and more must be done to raise awareness and find a cure. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor James Belford Damiano, on behalf of the Little Falls Township Council, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2022 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in the Township of Little Falls. Council President, that's all that I have this evening, and I turn the meeting back over to you.
Thank you, Mayor Damiano. At this time, can I have a motion to open the meeting for general matters and agenda items? Moved by Councilmember Vanchery, second by Councilmember Hablitz as a voice vote. All those in favor of opening to the public for general matters and agenda items do so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed to that motion do so by saying nay. Mrs. Kraus, can you please read the statement?
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. Please give your name and address for the records. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reaction site icon and then the raise hand icon. Please give your name and address for the record. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you, Mrs. Kraus. Is there anyone in the chat that would like to speak, Mr. Kusia? Seeing no one else in the audience that would like to speak, have a motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Kawadi, second by Councilmember Seaver. All those in favor of closing to the public comment, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed to that motion, do so by saying nay. The motion carries. Mayor Damiano?
Thank you, Council President. Couple of items, a couple of items to be addressed this evening. Tax refund resolution. As is customary throughout the year, we see a number of tax refunds. This is simply another tax refund resolution that is being authorized this evening to refund overpaid taxes. Any questions on item number one? All right, item number two is a resolution awarding a contract for Main Street Streetscape Section 2 project, Union Ave, the Little Falls Methodist Church. This is, as we have been discussing, the next section of the Little Falls Streetscape that will be underway. This was awarded to the lowest figure that we were able to obtain for this particular section. And it is the same contractor that will be doing the remainder of the currently approved Main Street Streetscape project. Are there any questions regarding this authorization this evening? All right, item number three is the resolution opposing the proposed increases to SHBP. And I will get specific here with the particulars of this. This is the State Health Benefits Program. As everyone is aware, state health benefits, like private medical benefits, are continuing to rise each and every year. However, it seems that the costs associated with health benefits and those provided through the state health benefits here, which is what the municipality utilizes, are increasing at a rate far greater than that of general increases that we have seen, whether it be on food, whether it be on anything else that you are purchasing. And I believe that it is prudent for this council, as well as all governing bodies across the state and the country, although this is particular to here in New Jersey, that this township voice its opinion that the increases are offensive. For example, preliminary rate increases in 2023 are 22.8%. It includes 21.6% for active members, 13% increases in early retirements, and 0.7% increases for Medicare retirees. The increases that are proposed here as preliminary figures for 2023 are simply offensive, and this needs to be, the voices of all need to be heard, because it is the Little Falls taxpayer, every single one of us sitting here, that will feel the impact of this in our local taxes as state health benefits continue to increase. So this resolution this evening is a resolution requesting that this council oppose the increases to the state health benefits program that will cripple all of us as these increases continue each and every single year. And that is what this resolution is for. Are there any questions with respect to this? All right, the final item to be discussed this evening, item number 4, is ordinance number 1445, prohibiting parking on sections of Main Street. And as we do from time to time, with the assistance of our police department and our business administrator, we constantly review our ordinances to make sure that they're up to date, that they're addressing any issues or concerns that may be had by residents here in Little Falls. Upon review of our ordinance, and particularly our no parking ordinance, we found a very short section on Main Street between Union Ave and the railroad tracks where parking is actually permitted currently on Main Street. And simple review by anyone driving down Main Street, I think the opinion would be unanimous that it doesn't make sense to allow parking in that stretch of on Main Street in that stretch. The roadway is simply too narrow. There are some sections that actually currently have no parking signs already posted. In fact, they've been posted there for decades before this. But upon review, it was determined that the ordinance does not necessarily match the signage that is out on the streets. And in an effort to ensure that there is never an issue on Main Street and that the police can easily enforce the no parking ordinance, it is simply asking this council to update the ordinance to prohibit parking essentially between Union Boulevard, Union Ave here, and the railroad tracks all the way down to really to Route 23. So that is what this ordinance does here this evening. And that is what is being proposed in ordinance 1445. Any questions of the council?
Thank you, ma'am. At this time, can I have a motion to approve resolutions A through D?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Hablitz,
Second.
second by Councilmember Seaver. This is a roll call. Mrs. Kraus, please call the roll for resolutions A through D.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Kawadi,
Yes.
Councilmember Seaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, can I have a motion to approve the following applications?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Kawadi, second by Councilmember Vanchery. This is a roll call. Mrs. Kraus, please call the roll.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Kawadi,
Yes.
Councilmember Seaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Mrs. Kraus, at this time, please read ordinance 1445.
Introduction of ordinance number 1445, an ordinance entitled Ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, further amending the Township of Little Falls Code, Chapter 7, Article 1, Section 7-13, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets, with a second reading and public hearing scheduled for October 3rd, 2022.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to introduce 1445?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Kawadi,
Second.
second by Councilmember Hablitz. Mrs. Kraus, please call the roll to introduce 1445.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Kawadi,
Yes.
Councilmember Seaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Councilmember Vanchery?
Thanks, Council President. First, I just want to say thank you to, of course, Mayor and Council and our members of the Police and Fire Department for attending yesterday's 9/11 ceremony. I also want to thank all the volunteers that were a part of it for their performances as well. It was another nice ceremony as we had a chance to remember those that were lost 21 years ago. So thank you for that. Just a couple other updates. I'm actually working with the members of the Passaic County Unico. We're trying to coordinate a date and time for the Italian American Heritage Month flag raising as we did last year. We're looking at either doing it Saturday, October 1st or Monday, October 3rd. More details to follow. We're just trying to see who's going to be available to take part in that ceremony. And then just lastly, just want to acknowledge and wish everyone well in the upcoming sports seasons. On Friday, the mayor and council, we had a chance to attend the Little Falls Football Parents Association pep rally to kick off the 2022 season. And the good news was the next night, each of the teams went out and won their first game of the season. So wishing the players, coaches, cheerleaders, and their families the best of luck. And then lastly, just want to say the same thing for the soccer season for the boys and girls. We actually kicked off the season this past weekend with the younger groups, and the older groups that are coached by myself and Councilman Kawadi are looking forward to this week as well, coaching our children and their friends this season. So just want to say again, best of luck to all the athletes, the coaches, and the parents this season. Thank you. That's it.
Councilmember Seaver?
Thank you. So pretty hard to believe, but there's only 7 markets left in the Little Falls Farmers Market this season. Upcoming this Sunday, we have some activities, including performances from Your Mom's Hot Band. They will be playing acoustically. And then also we have our 5K coming up Sunday, October 3rd at 9 a.m. All those wishing to participate, you can sign up at runsignup.com, or you can also find the link at lfnj.com. That's it for tonight.
Councilmember Kawadi?
Thank you, Council President. On the Little Falls and Passaic Valley school fronts, school is back in session. Want to just remind everybody to please be careful, particularly in the mornings when you're maybe rushing to work and kids are traveling to school. So please keep that in mind as you drive around, that schools are back in session. Passaic Valley did have their first home football game on the turf a couple weeks ago. It was a great event. The chief was there, I know, with a large police presence because the crowd was considerable for a PV game of recent years. And so it was a great event, and I encourage everybody to get down there as much as they can and check out all of the Hornet teams that'll be playing on the turf. Also, excuse me, it was last Thursday night, Council President and I drove down to Manville to attend a town hall meeting at Manville High School about how the $228 million in federal disaster relief will be spent. We listened to a lot of stories about people being flooded, stories very similar to people who we got to know and experience here in Little Falls last September 1st when Hurricane Ida hit. And so we expressed our interest in a grant program that we hope we will be able to receive money to stabilize the banks of the Peckman River. The grant goes up to about $5 million. We do have a $6 million plan to do it. And so we're hoping that there's an opportunity to make that happen, being paid for mostly by federal funds. Thank you, Councilman Vanchery, for the 9/11 memorial yesterday. It was a great tribute. I just want to remind people, as we keep in mind 9/11, there have been more people who passed away responding to 9/11 from 9/11 related illnesses than the numbers that actually died on that day. And so when we remember not to forget, let's remember them as well. And that's it for me.
Councilmember Havelitz.
Thank you, Council President. So just wanted to give some library updates with some upcoming events. On September 27th at 6:30, our own AIM Orthopedic that is in town will be offering a free interactive workshop for neck pain. Also this month, there will be the book club meeting. It actually is October 4th and October 5th at 11 a.m. And the book that is for the book club this month is Deacon King Kong by James McBride. If you haven't caught any of the New York speaker series at the library, it's a don't miss. Tomorrow night is another section of the series. Historian Peter Lafkowitz is hosting tomorrow, and the subject is the capital of the world, and it's at 7 p.m. at the library. And lastly, as the mayor mentioned, it is library card sign-up month. If you do not have a library card, please sign up at the library, or you can stop by the farmer's market. The next time the library will be there will be September 25th. Also, this Saturday is our third annual townwide garage sale. It's back from 9 to 3 with the rain date on Sunday. It's not too late to sign up. Go to the recreation page and sign up with Community Pass. The fee is $5, and that fee will have a sign placed in front of your house, and we will do all of the advertising for you. If you're not interested in selling, please just stop by, see your neighbors, see what they have. They might have some great treasures for you. And lastly, on the 25th, the Little Falls Biz is hosting the Fall Festival from 1 to 4 at Wilmore Park. It is always a fun event. We thank the Little Falls Business Association for hosting it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. The Possibilities event for the senior advisory was held today. It was a great success. It was well attended. It was sold out. Many thanks to Janet Cohen, who put that program on, and Nadine for helping. Janet will be leaving us from the senior advisory board. Want to thank her for all the hard work she did over the years working on that board. Our next big event is our last event. It's Friday, October 21st. It's our Harvest Moon function. DJ Angel will be playing again. Flyers will be out. You can see the RSVP. We'll be doing an email blast. That's going to be at 5:30, October 21st at the Little Falls Civic Center. Chief? Yes, sir. Anything?
Just to remind everybody that school's in session, so if everybody could just be mindful of their driving habits, stop for the stop school buses, keep an eye out for pedestrians, and please watch the speed limits. We had a kickoff the school event that happened last week. I'm happy to report that the police department and dispatchers beat the Little Falls teachers in a little competitive kickball game. The mayor was on our side, and we also took Tyler over from the rec center. Just to remind everybody that's out there and listening, if you can just remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We've been putting a lot of information out there, community events, crime prevention tips, and we'll continue to support it the way that we have been through the community policing unit. So, thank you.
Chief, do you see in the future of those driving their bike or walking at night that we always hate to pass new rules or ordinances that would have to wear reflective gear? I know that's on bikes, but is that sometimes an issue, the way people see people walking on certain roads and not being able to see them?
I mean, anything that a pedestrian or somebody on a bicycle, even a motorcycle, can do to increase their visibility, it's, that's a good thing. I don't know necessarily that there's going to be a law that's passed that's going to require it, but for your own safety, you're the one that, that is going to be at the tail end of any collisions that occur with a motor vehicle. So do whatever you can proactively to increase your own visibility is, good advice.
Thank you, Chief. Can I have a motion to open the meeting to public agenda items only? Moved by Councilmember Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilmember Quattie. There's a voice vote. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed do so by saying nay. Mrs. Kraus, motion carries.
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. Please give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Please give your name and address for the record. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. The floor is open. Anyone in the chat, Mr. Cushing? No one in the council chambers? Can I have a motion to close the public?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Quattie, second by Councilmember Havelitz. All those in favor of closing to public do so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed to that motion, please do so by saying nay. Motion carries. I want to thank the staff for helping us put on this meeting. Thank you, Chief, for attending. Tom Lemanowitz, thank you. Can I have a motion, and of course, our Counselor Wenzel, Joe Wenzel. Have a motion to close to the public. Have a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Quattie. Second by Councilmember Vanchery. All those in favor of adjourning this meeting, please do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, do so by saying nay. This meeting is now closed.